Oi, this is the Profanity Gnome, and I'm here to tell you that if you're under 13 years old, fuck off this video! Get the fuck off YouTube! Get your mama to get your dad's cock out of her ears and actually be a parent! This is for adults only! And for everybody else, enjoy the video. And don't forget to like and subscribe and comment below what you think, you fuck buckets! Vegita might be a Super Saiyan God, but he's got nothing on you. I'll go full Judgment Day on his ass. Die, Vegeta! I know you can do it! Everything you say offends me. Oh my god, did you believe this actually happening? Wow, Boomstick, I haven't seen you this pumped up before. How could anybody not be lose their mind over this? This is the Prince of Saiyans versus the Prince of Darkness! This is gonna be the best thing ever! You heard it here, folks. This may be the fight to end all fights, says Boomstick. Satan versus Vegeta. 3, 2, 1. This episode titled He'll Win. Smash! The episode begins with us finally getting off Mira's spaceship and being on the only planet with any type of other colors other than gray and rock. So it's time for celebration! But those celebrations are going to have to be cut short, as we are reminded that the war is pretty much already won by the Horde. They lost. And they have no army, no resources, not even an ally. And on top of everything else, they can't trust anyone on the planet. So the first thing they decide to do is find the princesses. And so Glimmer teleports them to a nearby town in the Mushroom Kingdom. Yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, people. This is the Mushroom Kingdom. We're in Super Mario Brothers. And it looked like the Horde decided to take over Bowser's turf. And it's not like they can sneak in. They stick out like a sore thumb. Well, we later cut to Horde Prime's ship as many rebellions are happening all across his empires for some reason, and he's upset because not enough people are blowing sunshine up his ass. And even though his clones are more than willing to take a healthy dose of his farts, he needs the heart of Etheria to work, and without She-Ra, he has to find another way. But don't worry, he has people on planet who can help him out. Are you saying this, Action Wiz? Yes, I feel it, Boomstick. Now please make me stop vibrating. So we cut back to Adora, who's donning the most obvious cartoon skies possible, without actually covering their face, in order to sneak into the Mushroom Kingdom. They use wrong Hordak to get past the guards, and, well, actually that's a pretty smart idea. And after a scene where the Entraptra teaches wrong Hordak how to wink, they then decide to talk to a Goomba, trying to figure out what happened here and where are all the princesses, but he runs off. Bo tries his luck trying to get information, but is shot down. It's clear that no matter where they go, the Goombas and the Mushroom Kingdom are just unhelpful. So they decide to split up to get some answers. But unfortunately that Goomba from earlier sold them out, and the Hordaks are on the prowl. So they use wrong Hordak to cover for them as they hide in the shop of Strawberry Shortcake? I didn't know the Strawberry Shortcake fandom was in such dire need that she has to make cameos just to make ends meet. And it's clear she ain't happy about it. She's also unhappy about the princesses, as they seem to have turned on the planet, and now everybody hates the princesses. Glimmer decides to make a spiel about how they're going to save the world from them and set free the princesses. Well, she's going to get her chance sooner than expected, as Wrong Hordak insists that the princesses are here to attack. Yay! We found them! Time to die. So while Catra, Milog, and Entraptra are busy off somewhere else, distracting us from what's happening, we then cut back to everyone being sucked in a tornado. Yeah, that's fun. Catra and Traptra and Milog are there, but what are they gonna do? But thankfully, Glimmer teleports the gang out and into Catra's paws. But that's still not enough to stop Spinnerella, as she's about to launch a whirlwind of whirlwinds. I didn't think that went through. But thankfully, she's stopped by Snetassa. And then they get into the cat fight that ends all cat fights. I mean, on one hand, I should be in unbridled rage over the fact that they are so super goddamn powerful and yet left on the sidelines for so often, for so long, that it almost seems like an insult and a slap to the face to be seeing them with this kind of power this late in the game. But on the other hand, they're finally doing something, and anything is better than nothing. Again, I'm conflicted. I mean, look at this scene. Spinnerella is holding these spear javelins in the air, and they're not spinning around, which leads me to assume that she not only has the power of wind, but psychic powers. Unfortunately, before she can actually exploit those psychic powers, Glimmer teleports Snetassa away to safety. We soon cut back to Horde Prime's ship, as our Hordak is having reminiscent thoughts of Traptra. Why are you stealing my thunder? It's not your thunder to steal, for this is my area of expertise. But then, unfortunately, Horde Prime calls him in order to go to the room full of corpses, as he does this weird thing where he connects to the memories of his older bodies, which I suppose should be a lore-building scene, but we've already know that he's, going into bodies that aren't his, so we don't actually know what the original one looks like. But while he's FaceTiming his older self, our Hordak begins having flashbacks to his previous life, all of his experience that no other Horde soldier was able to accomplish back on Etheria. He remembers his portal, he remembers his empire, he remembers Traptra. And they're definitely setting up for the big traitorous scene, his full Darth Vader turn Anakin moment. Meow meow. I don't know, something about a pie recipe?
Maybe he was trying to figure out where he left his left sock.
Those damn left socks! Who is the one who keeps stealing them? So we teleport back to the She-Ra and the gang, as they are so happy to see Snetassa for the first time ever. Unfortunately, she can't say the same for all of them, as she acts appropriately when seeing Catra. Throw as many nets at her as possible. But don't worry, after Adora vouches for her, she laments her attack. But she's sad. They're all sad, because Snetassa has been tracking Spinnerella for months, and that was the closest she's ever come to actually getting the device off her neck. Catra, well, she can relate. And everything's all sad, mopey for a bit. But then Glimmer says, we can do it. Let's get Spinnerella back. We're back, baby. Let's finally fight for the planet. And so, they all join hands and teleport themselves back into the line of fire as Spinnerella is torturing Strawberry Shortcake. So, Wrong Hordak decides to distract some guards, and they lead him into an ambush. Not that it matters anyway, as they charge in recklessly throughout the city like they always do, making that ambush scene kind of pointless. And then, Snetassa and Adora manage to get all the way to Spinnerella. Adora turns into She-Ra and begins the attack. But thankfully, Glimmer evacuated the city, so they don't have to worry about collateral damage.
And a good thing too, they really go at it. They answer the age-old question of what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. You just get She-Ra to move either.
But this is more than just a battle of power. This is a battle of the hearts. as Natasha doesn't want to attack, and neither does Spinnerella, but Hordak Prime gives them no choice. There is a scene where they're able to damage the device on the back of her neck, and she snaps back to normal for just a second. But the device engraved in her neck is too strong, and it looks like it's embedding in her DNA. And even though they put their best effort forward, and I'm truly admiring that best effort bit, they are unable to free Spinnerella as she wisps off into the wind. And Natasha once again loses the one she cares about. But thankfully, they at least saved the Mushroom Kingdom of some sorts. Wait, they didn't get all of them out? Oh damn, looks like there was some collateral damage. Find the bodies and put them on the pizzas!
Wow, that one was dark even for us.
So even though they failed in their objective to save Spinnerella, they managed to complete the side quests and save the Mushroom Kingdom. Well, damn, if they wanted to save the princess too, they should have just called Mario. But hey, saving the Mushroom Kingdom is its own reward. But saving the Mushroom Kingdom also comes at a price that Catra knows all too well, as Hordak Prime is not happy that She-Ra somehow managed to make it back to the planet. And with all the bullshit he's dealing with on his other planets, he doesn't want to lose the one weapon he has to keep everybody in line. So it's set course for Etheria. Little does he know that he has the potential turncoat in his ranks, right beside him at all times. And I'm starting to think Horde Prime isn't as smart as I thought he was.
Well, since he can just jump into the side of the body of the guy who betrayed him, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. Yeah, but we also have to consider his ego. I mean, would he really just jump inside of a defective version of himself?
Man's got pride, but the man who survives is the one who wins the day. So we cut back to She-Ra and the gang, as Natasha takes them to their new abode, a lair that both Glimmer and Catra know all too well. But then they're ambushed by the princesses, as they all check their necks to make sure that they're not Horde spies, and they have a pretty funny reunion. Adora meets up with Swiftwind, Entraptor meets up with Emily, which we haven't seen in forever. Wrong Hordak makes this face, and everything's all smiles, happy, and crying, except for Catra, who seems to finally be able to open herself up, and everybody forgives her, and just kidding, get wrecked, motherfucker! But don't worry, She-Ra stands up for her, and remember, if She-Ra stands up for anyone, then it doesn't matter if they actually committed genocide. They're okay, and your feelings don't matter. And so, with She-Ra back on the party, they all gather together for a group shot to know that they're in for the fight of their lives.
Well, to be fair, they need all the help they can get.
And that was an ill wind. And it was an episode. The majority of this episode was mostly just spectacle, as well as setting things up that we've already known. We see Spinnerella and Natasha, that's always good. We see a fight scene, that's also good. And we see Hordak thinking about betraying Hordak Prime. Again, nothing we don't already know. This episode just exists to tell us things that we already know. To set things up that have already been set up. To remind us what's at stake, even though we already know. Again, this episode could have been handled better. If they really wanted to show the tragedies of what would befallen their home planet, they could have made it look more like the planets that have already been conquered, taken over, or killed off. But it still looks as bright and as colorful as when we last left it. So, this episode just exists. But hey, at least they're all together again, and maybe next episode they do something. So, with that being said, we're the Cartoon Gentlemen, the organizers of Chaos's Vintage Kings. See you next time. Oh crap, they're about to combine two ultimate finishers. Well, yeah, but aren't they supposed to fight? But that's just it, Boomstick. Yeah, it's gonna be big, flashy, over the top, and it may destroy the entire ring, but they both already lost.
Bitch, say what now?
Well, yes, if we go back to the play-by-play, we can clearly see that both contestants exited the ring and landed outside of it at the exact same time, which ends up in a draw.
Can't argue with those facts.
Then why didn't either of you come into and stop the fight?
Like anyone's gonna step between Vegeta and the devil. I've already cleaned out 5 kegs, and even I'm not that drunk.
But I was going...
So it ended in a draw. That's a shame.
I suppose the tie's not too bad. Gives us possibilities for future events. And honestly, who would even want to know the answer between who would win a fight between Vegeta versus the devil? By the way, didn't you guys actually fight the devil in that one arc, with the big pink blob? Yeah, but we don't talk about that one.